Hi, thanks for visiting. I'm Candice. On my channel, I'll be sharing the tools and techniques that I use to help people overcome all kinds of physical and emotional challenges. I'm going to show you how to harness the natural healing power of food, the unconscious mind, and healing lifestyle approaches to activate your body's innate healing abilities. In this video, I'm going to tell you about a fascinating tool that I use to help people get answers and guidance from their inner unconscious body intelligence, and how this can give you the answers you've been looking for about how to overcome your health problems, get guidance on areas of your life, overcome issues that have been bothering you, and generally improve the quality of your life. The tool that I use is called kinesiology. Now, when I tell people that I'm a kinesiologist, they tend to nod their head and go, oh, great, even though they have absolutely no idea what kinesiology is. They think they should know what it is, but they're too embarrassed to say they don't know, or they just assume it's something about muscles. Now, in this video, I'm going to do my best to explain in the simplest terms what kinesiology is, how I use it, and how it can help you. Lots of people have just never heard of kinesiology, and if they have, they don't have a full understanding of exactly what it is and how it can benefit them. And it's pretty difficult to explain. So I'm up for the challenge, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll know what it's about and maybe want to give it a try yourself. Now, before I start, there are two different types of practitioner, both called kinesiologists, which makes it all even more confusing. And I think it's this reason why people just don't understand what kinesiology is. So kinesiology means the study of movement. And there are those kinesiologists who are involved in sports, for example, and they're looking at muscle movement and how it affects injuries and performance. I'm not that type of kinesiologist. The second type of kinesiologist uses muscle movement and muscle testing for the purposes of getting biofeedback from the body. I'm that type of practitioner, and I studied applied or systematic kinesiology. So let's first of all put that other type of kinesiologist aside. This video doesn't apply to them. It just applies to the holistic alternative health practitioners. So kinesiologists like me, the holistic therapists, and they use muscle testing to obtain information from the body. The muscles are just a tool, but they aren't the main focus. And so the name is not accurately describing what we do, and I think that just adds to the confusion. So let me tell you more about what kinesiology is, what the purpose of it is, and what you can get out of it. And then you'll understand what I'm saying about the name. So applied or systematic kinesiology is a very holistic modality, and it combines information from many other modalities. So it was originally founded by a chiropractor who discovered this profound way of getting information from the body via the muscle test. Now, over time, he worked with other practitioners, and he found correspondences between each muscle test and different organs and different body and energy systems. He found correspondences with Chinese five element theory, with acupuncture, with nutrition, herbal medicine, homeopathy, and flower remedies. And so each muscle test, and there are over 40 that I am able to use, is linked to an organ and a body energy system. So you might never have actually seen what muscle testing looks like before. So here are a few simple muscle tests. And you can see that all I'm doing is putting muscles into position and then applying a small amount of pressure. And then I'm reading the response of the muscle to that pressure. And that gives me the information I'm looking for. When I test a muscle, I'm looking for strength or weakness. Weakness in a muscle test gives me information on where organs or energy channels need a bit of help. And this lets me search for where the imbalances are and where attention is needed. I'm not looking at how physically strong you are or how much you've been working out. I don't care about that. I'm not interested in the muscles themselves particularly. I'm just using them to assess and get feedback on the state of the body's energy system. And so you see, as a kinesiologist, I'm not interested in the study of muscle movement, which is what the name describes, kinesiologist. the study of movement. And so the name feels slightly wrong, and that's perhaps why people, especially in the UK, don't tend to know what kinesiology is. What we're really doing is body response testing or biofeedback testing. We're reading the responses from the body to get information on what's required, what's beneficial, what's going wrong, and we get information to explore the root of the problem and look for solutions. The basic premise of kinesiology, or body response testing as I should be calling it, is that all of us have an innate intelligence that we can tap into to understand what we need to do to bring ourselves into balance and optimum wellness. The understanding is that when the body is in perfect balance and harmony, it can heal itself. And so we want to correct any imbalances as quickly and naturally as possible. Now, how I explain how muscle testing works is like this. Everything around us has a vibration. The people we meet, the foods we eat, the substances we consume, even the thoughts that we think all have a vibration. Our nervous system is a highly sensitive 37-mile long antenna reverberating and responding mostly unconsciously to all these things around us all the time. We're not aware of it, but it's happening. And muscle response testing lets me read the body's responses to things, and it helps me get information on what's affecting the body and what will help it heal. Conversely, it also highlights what's problematic to the body and what's limiting healing. So how I tend to explain it to my clients is like this. When something's in alignment with the truth of our true nature, when it's in harmony with us and it's healthy for us, it's good for us, then when that thing is close to us, we're in the vicinity of it, when we think that thought, the body remains strong because all the energy pathways are unaffected, unhindered, or uninterrupted. But when we encounter a substance or a thought that is not in harmony with us, which is not healthy for us, it's not in alignment with us, it's not true to us, the body instantly responds via the central nervous system and subtle energy pathways. And just for a split second, it reverses. And what happens is this makes the muscle test go weak. So it's this strengthening and weakening of the muscles that I use as a kinesiologist. And it's almost like Morse code communicating with the body, telling me what the responses are to different things. The body responds instantly and it's very short, sharp. So every muscle test that I test is connected to the central nervous system and the brain. And so the information we are getting reflects the brain activity and not just the muscles. So that when the muscle tests strong, the flow of energy from the brain, the central nervous system, the meridian organs, and the muscle is in an optimum balanced state. There's no disturbance, nothing is affecting it. And we know that the organ and those systems are getting the right amount of energy that they need to function optimally. There's no disturbance. So what we want to know through kinesiology is what's at the root of the problem. We want to understand where is the main focus that healing needs to be. And so we can stop wasting our time and energy, throwing everything at it, doing everything everyone tells us, and take back our healing into our own hands. We want to understand how things are affecting you. So is your diet helping you or harming you? Are your supplements in the right quantity? Are you taking the right ones? Which ones are going to help you the most? What changes make you stronger? What toxins need to be detoxified? Are there bugs affecting you? And if so, what do we need to do to address them? And it's not just foods. We're also looking at where and when traumatic experiences happened that shaped you, and how can you heal and resolve old wounds. We can look at where the fears and phobias started, or how we can go about dissolving negative beliefs, narratives, and defense strategies. So the other thing in a kinesiology session is we're looking at the connections and the links. So is this problem connected to that problem? Are the headaches to do with this food? Is this skin problem connected to that bug? Is this problem in the liver connected to that problem in the ankle or something? So generally this helps me to investigate and get good understanding of how the different symptoms link together. They might look like they're completely separate symptoms, but I can generally see how they're linked via the underlying cause. Most importantly, what I'm looking for is what's the most effective solution. Generally, the body will prioritize what is the most important in order at that time. So I'm going to look at what's the most helpful, what's the most effective, so you end up with a really clear protocol for action. We can also get guidance. The muscle testing is connected to your central nervous system and your energy system, which is connected to your higher intelligence. So we can ask simple questions about direction to get guidance on choices. Would this be better for me, or is that better for me? Should I buy a house in this location, or should I move to this location? Is this course aligned to my purpose, or is this one going to take me where I want better in a more effective way? So it can be used in a multitude of different ways. One thing I will say is that every kinesiologist will use the tool in different ways that mirror their own beliefs and personal healing processes. We each have different things we offer as our specialisms. Some kinesiologists may focus on structural problems, for example, joints, back, bones, because that's their area of expertise. Others like to focus on energy remedies, homeopathy. I've even been to one that only used it to explore parallel lives and astral selves. It was far out. We can't all be experts at everything, so find a practitioner who focuses on your area of need and check that their philosophy matches yours. We all have different specialities and philosophies, which of course will colour any advice that we give and the testing they select from. Just the same as any other practitioner, there aren't going to be many paleo nutritionalists recommending veganism or vice versa. Surgeons tend to focus on removing body parts. They're not going to give you advice on nutrition. So choose your practitioner on the basis of their specialisms and their philosophy. Ask questions. Kinesiologists are trained to be impartial, to ask questions of the body in a way that takes their own energy out of the equation. This is really important for any practitioner working with energy in any way. We have checks in place, and the kinesiologist should be repeatedly undertaking those checks. Like with any other testing mechanism, there will always be calibration, and especially when you're working at an energy level with clients, we always need to make sure that our energy is not affecting the testing. I have absolutely no doubt about the validity of muscle testing, because every day my clients' bodies tell me things that I didn't know. My clients through the testing have selected herbs that I didn't know about that were perfect for their problem. We find traumas I knew nothing about. In one session, the muscle testing kept suggesting that there was a trauma that needed addressing, and my client just couldn't think of anything. And when I'm muscle tested through some lists and presented words to the body, the muscle testing responded to war trauma. I didn't know until that conversation that her father had been killed in the war when she was just 1 year old. And of course, from there we could talk about and explore the effects of that on her. So the practitioner will have their own tools and approaches. Let me tell you a little bit about mine so you get an idea. First of all, 100%, I'm guided by the work of Anthony William, medical medium, because his natural health teachings have proven to help me the most in my own recovery, and I've seen the best outcomes for my clients using that information. Often the people that come to me have tried lots of different therapies with no success. So of course, as a medical medium inspired practitioner, I don't recommend supplements which he has taught us could be harmful. I've abandoned quite a lot of the typical naturopathy training I received because it just doesn't align with the information I've been taught by a medical medium. And if you are on the medical medium protocols, it's really important you find a practitioner who fully aligns to his teachings. Otherwise, you're going to get contradictory advice. It's going to be really confusing and actually also expensive, because you're going to be buying two different sets of supplements. In my practice, I aim to work in a really holistic way. So on one hand, we'd be looking at things like food, supplements, herbs, toxins, detoxification, pathogens, deficiencies. And on the other hand, I also bring in my training, my experience with NLP, cognitive hypnotherapy, EFT, heart speak. I have lots of different tools so that we can work on an emotional level and work with the mind to transform the beliefs that shape the way we perceive the world and how we respond to it and behave within it. So lots of trauma work and resolving emotions. Then there's also the energetic level. I might need to stimulate or sedate some acupuncture points or work with your energy meridians or chakras. We might look at environmental energies or use flower remedies or homeopathy to support you. Perhaps you need support to develop your intuitive or spiritual abilities. I have clients who come to me who are going through some kind of awakening process and they need some help adjusting to that. We might also look at how we can support your body structure. So things like activating energetic pathways in your spine, your bones. I can even test to see if you need to visit someone else, like a masseur or an osteopath. Kinesiology is truly holistic. It's so rare to have access to so many different healing modalities in every session. What other therapy could give you access to such a broad range of healing tools? Basically, whatever the practitioner has expertise in can be brought into the modality. Kinesiology helps to find your unique needs. We're all unique. We come with different weaknesses, hereditary patterns, nutritional status. We need different things, and kinesiology is the best tool I've found to help you find what it is that you need to feel better. We may face similar challenges through toxins and chemicals and trauma, pathogens, bugs, hereditary weakness, but the solutions would still be different for every person. So kinesiology helps you learn what you need. You don't have to figure it out alone, and you could save yourself all the time and money that you would spend on useless supplements and health ads and didn't do anything for you. So on that note, it's also really useful for discerning in a world where everybody wants to sell you something. There are so many messages. Everybody's marketing a new product, a new diet, a new therapy. If you're unwell, this is really overwhelming and confusing. You have no time or energy to learn and figure out which are accurate and helpful. And it's really expensive and it's soul destroying when nothing works. The kinesiology helps you to find the specific things you need to do to get back in balance, what's really needed, what supplements are the priority, and that therefore makes healing much simpler. Ultimately, we want you to be able to take your healing back into your own hands. Maybe you've been told that you have a condition and there is no solution. Now, just because the medical establishment or the pharmaceutical establishment haven't found the solution, it doesn't mean there isn't a way. Kinesiology can help you find and resolve the imbalances and figure out what you need to do to heal. And also, it's really important to prevent problems later. So, of course, if we find and address these imbalances early, it means we can prevent problems happening later. You're probably already doing loads of things to maintain your health, but how do you know that they're really helping? Kinesiology can check to see where you can save time and money and kind of streamline you towards your healing. So I hope that that's given you a better understanding of what kinesiology is, and maybe you'll look into trying kinesiology in future. Remember it from now on as a form of body response testing. It's a wonderful healing modality. I work with clients in St Albans in the UK, and I also work with people around the world online. I'll do another video at some point explaining how that works. If you have any questions I haven't answered, please do leave them in the chat and I will try and answer them in future videos. Thank you ever so much for watching my first ever YouTube video, and I wish you well on your healing journey.